today is Saturday, I guess the 19th of October, 2 days before the election. And I find myself being very, very upset at the way things are. I can see the disaster coming. Not even coming. I can see the disaster that we have here right now with the controls that we've got over us. We do not have the freedom to reason. We are not free people. We're captive, and we're underneath this rule of law, which says it has authority over us, and there is a process of elections whereby the majority of people have decided that this is the way they want to be governed. And I have stood in this election and have claimed that this is a fraud. There hasn't been anybody that has come to me and said, "Oh no, David, this is not a fraud. This is a fair and free election. And you have your say. You can stand out there with your sign saying it's a fraud. And look at all the freedom that you got. Nobody's shooting you, and in fact, nobody's even arguing with you. So you have basically your freedom to express yourself. But it's not of no effect. And if it were to be effectual, then I imagine at that point there would be resistance to what I'm saying. But because there's no effect, they're allowing me to have this say. So I put my sign up at the Elections Canada office out on Shelbourne in Victoria, saying just fraud. And I got a lot of attention on that sign. Nobody said, "Oh, defend it," or argued with what I claimed was this fraud of an election. Instead, they called the police. The police came. They didn't want to arrest me because they didn't want to give me any attention. Candidate arrested. Shebib's in jail. Not a big deal. But they're maintaining this fraud on the people that this is a fair and free election, and it's not. It's so ridiculous, our process. There's almost no process. It's just manipulation and keeping the people ignorant about really what's happening. The politicians, they're the candidates, are not telling the truth. They don't know the truth. I don't think they do. And I don't think anybody does. I think we can look at what is true, and we can say, yeah, we're in an emergency probably, globally. But the problem is our division, and we're not working. We're not changing the whole direction that we're being moved in. We don't have freedom to adapt to what our condition is. We're under rule of law, and the law has become the strength of the corruption. So I am upset, and I look at this and I say, well, they say it doesn't do any good to get angry, but we're going along with this order. And like I saw Extinction Rebellion in England, a video, and this guy jumped on top of a subway car, and the crowd got mad and pulled him off, and it looked like they're putting the boots to him. He was being attacked, and people are getting violent because they're being held up and they feel they're righteously angry at people who get in their way and prevent them from getting to work and doing their jobs. And but these people who are putting their lives at risk and standing up and gluing themselves to roadways and shutting down bridges, they they're desperately trying to bring awakening to the people about the condition that we're in. And we're all trying to do that. We're all trying to, we'd all like true guidance and a true directive. And people don't know what to do because when they go to change things, there's this opposition by those who are maintaining it the way it is. So we're under this control, and breaking down that control is leading to violence. It's getting violent. It's going to get very violent when people realize that there is no hope. We don't have a chance of turning this around. It's pretty well over. We've got a death diagnosis on our system. Our system is collapsing, and we're not facing it. We're not in the open recognizing it. Like if I look at where I am, and of course that's what I can talk about, the streets are clogged with vehicles. We got these stupid rules. Oh, and I'm trying not to use that word stupid, because the people know that they're not able to make sense out of what's going on, and they say it's insane. The politicians are corrupt, and we're hopelessly trapped in this collective reality where we have to follow the lineup. You can't step out of line. You can't shift directions. You're being moved down this corridor of materialism where materials rule. Man, we're in a tough spot. The elections are corrupt. The politicians aren't getting together on it. The people are not getting true directives. And what I want to tell you is right now, we have to shut down this election. We have to stop doing what we're doing and reflect on what's happening, and then come to terms with it. There's got to be ways to do it, or we're just doomed to continue going in this direction, which is leading to a total collapse. I'm David Shebib. I'm running for MP, which is a bunch of garbage in this ridiculous federal election. They got to look at the process. These candidates, they're electing, are not going to have any more. They're going to have less power when they get into office than they have now, when we're free relatively free to speak out. Now is the time. Don't let this continue. Shut down those elections everywhere across the country. Okay.